Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am your host, Save Our Children TV, back at it for a brand new video. Before I get started, I have important announcements. I will be dropping three YouTube videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this channel and my two other channels are going to also be being dropped today, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The dates have changed. Um, and I have 6 stories for you guys. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. Now, also hit that cash at money sign capital C PA 106. Our first story is out of Alabama. Alabama is going to take an L, and we're going to talk about the Alabama mass shooting that happened April 15th of 2023 of this year, and it happened at a Dadeville. It's called 2023 Dadeville shooting. I'm on the Wikipedia, and it basically was a mass shooting in Alabama. In Alabama at a sweet 16th birthday party, and one of the YouTubers I watch, his friend's son was killed at that party, so it's crazy. It's just been a lot going on, and I think it's time to do something about it. On April 15th, 2023, a mass shooting occurred in Dadeville, Alabama, United States. The victims were mostly teenagers, with 4 being killed and 28 being injured. The shooting took place at a 16th birthday celebration. The shooting took place at the old Dadeville Bank at 220 North Broadneck Street, which had been converted into the Montgomery Masterpiece Dance Studio in 2021. The next morning, on the 16th, Alabama law enforcement agency said it had launched an investigation at the request of the Dadeville Police Department and confirmed that 4 people had died. Let's talk about the background. According to a study conducted in 2020 by gun safety organization Everytown, Alabama has the third greatest number of firearm-related fatalities in the U.S. Multiple persons have been shot in Dadeville at least twice in recent years. In July 2016, a gunshot at an American Legion Hall left 5 people injured. A man was subsequently charged with 5 counts of attempted murder. It's about the shooting. The gunfight began on April 15th, 2023 at 10:34 p.m. The party DJ stated that the celebration stopped when a person carrying a gun was turned away. He said that the shooting broke out about an hour later. Most of the victims were teenagers. One of the victims was a local football player who was the brother of the birthday girl. Another was a high school senior. Let's talk about the aftermath. In light of the attack, President Joe Biden referred to increasing gun violence in the United States as outrageous and unacceptable, and demanded Congress to enact legislation making firearms producers more responsible for gun violence, prohibiting assault weapons and high capacity ammunition magazines, requiring safe firearm storage, and requiring background checks for the sale of firearms, according to WRBL. The shooting was thought to be the result of an altercation. I want to say this. If you go to a birthday party or a party in general and you turned away, the best bet and the best thing you should do is walk away. There's just more parties to come. Now, to go back to a party with a assault rifle or a gun and shoot it up and killing 4 people and injuring 28 others tells me that this person was outraged. This person was angry because he was turned away. You know, to devastate families like this, and we're already going through mass shootings. And the fact that you would take out a gun and use it in a senseless manner. You know, it because you're angry. What did it solve? It solves no purpose. Now you're looking at the rest of your natural life in prison for murder times four and 28 counts of attempted murder or assaults. Was it worth it? You see what I'm saying? You know, it's not the guns, right? It's the people that uses the guns in dangerous ways. And I think by us taking assault rifles off the streets, I think that there's going to be a way that people will still get access to guns. Because the way people get access to illegal guns is that they're being sold to them illegally from people who buy it from other people off the streets. So at this point in time, we need to do something within the community, and we need to start talking to these youth, these teens, the adults, and there needs to be some type of classes set up where these people are sent to like an anger management class and other classes to help them figure out what's really wrong with them and why is it that when you get angry, the first thing you resort to is to pick up a gun. Can you imagine celebrating your 16th birthday and a shooting break out and your brother is killed? We're talking about a 16-year-old who lost her brother on her birthday, celebrating her birthday. This 16-year-old is scarred for life. She would never want to celebrate her birthday again. Now it's up to the county, the state, and the city of Alabama to get this child and everybody else who's at this party the resources that they need. They're going to need all the help that they can get. Because if you had experienced tragedy before, you know that it's hard. Experiencing a death in a family is very hard, and especially at your own birthday party. This person needs to be off the streets, and I think the police know who's responsible. They're not going to release the person's name or anything else because they're still investigating. This happened on the 15th. Today is the 17th. So this happened less than 2 days ago. Literally 2 days ago. So they're not going to release any information to the public until they done with their investigation, which they probably are still questioning those who's at the party, the DJ. They gotta talk to, you know, anybody who saw something, any other witnesses who might have been walking during this party, walking down the street, and possibly saw the gunman. It's a lot they gotta do. So condolences to the victims. Um, Thoughts and prayers out to the family of those who are lost, to the families who are devastated. Um, I can't imagine losing my son at my daughter's birthday party and three other people who were killed senselessly. You know, and I think there needs to be more done within the communities, in my opinion. These were high school students who were killed at a party. Alabama right now is going through it. We need to send our support, our love, and encouragement out to Alabama. And something is to be done with these assault rifles before another tragedy happens. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're on story number 2. I'm on WGRZ. Originally, 4 teens were missing, 2 were found, 2 more are missing. Buffalo police are looking for several missing kids in Buffalo. The Buffalo Police Department on Sunday was looking for 5 teens who were missing in the Buffalo area. Buffalo Police on Sunday posted on its Facebook page 4 non-related kids who have been reported missing, ranging from ages 13 to 16. That's in addition to Lachey Shaw, a teen who was reported missing on Saturday and was found safe on Sunday. The teens who remain missing include 15-year-old Melissa Howard Bertram, a black female approximately 5 feet 4 inches and 230 pounds. She was last seen wearing gray sweatpants, a black hoodie with black and white sneakers. Her last known location was on Sears Avenue. Buffalo police are also looking for 13-year-old Jaden Lambert, a black boy around 5 feet 3 inches and 130 pounds. Jaden was last seen wearing a neon colored sweater, black pants, and camouflage crack shoes. He was last seen on Grayson Avenue. The teens who were found safe on Sunday include 16-year-old Parlay Ditt, 15-year-old Takia Ransom, and 16-year-old Lachey Shaw. Anyone with information regarding where any one of them can be, please call 911 immediately. So if you know where these 2 teens are at, call 911 Buffalo Police. If you know their whereabouts at, it's very important. Um, if you know where they at, call the police. Call 911. 15 hours ago, facts 11, Los Angeles. Mexico's going to take an L. Mexico resort shooting leaves 7 dead, including a child. Let's talk about it. A shooting at a Guanajuato resort in Mexico Saturday left 7 dead, including a 7-year-old child, 30 said. Mexican officials said a band of gunmen invaded the LA Palma Resort in the Cortázar municipality and shot the vacationers at the swimming pool. Authorities said 3 women and 3 men died, including a child, as well as an 8th person who was seriously wounded. The identities of the victims have not yet been released. Videos on social media show police on the scene as tourists look on in shock, many still in their swimsuits and towels. Others are seen crying and hugging the children. Heavily armed sicarios arrived, and this is what happened. Said one man filming the aftermath, using a word for hired assassins. Authorities said the gunman then destroyed the spy shop and took the security cameras before fleeing the scene. Mexican soldiers and police, aided by a helicopter, were searching for the attackers. A statement released by officials in the Cortázar municipality in Guanajuato state did not speculate on possible motive. No arrests have been made. Guanajuato has been increasingly plunged by drug cartel violence for years, despite also being an agricultural and industrial hub in the country. The Jalisco New Generation drug cartel has been fighting with local criminal groups, including the Santa Rosa de Lima cartel, which is apparently backed by the Sonorio cartel. Okay. Number one, my thing is this. Can you imagine going on vacation just to end up dead? Just picture that for a second. You go on a vacation, your dream vacation, and wind up dead behind people who are serial criminals, and to gun down a child, a 7-year-old child, at a pool, along with four additional adults. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry, I'm back. So, as I was saying, again, can you imagine on a vacation, and end up being basically assassinated due to a hit out on your family? This was assassination, to be honest. Because again, if the cartel gave these criminals access to target people and to kill people, it was assassination. And I think that to kill a child, this is these people need to be caught and brought to justice because this is not okay. There's a family in America that's grieving. There's families in the United States, all over the United States, upset about this because a whole family who went to enjoy themselves were killed, keyword killed, by people who are dangerous and vicious. And so my safety tips for people who go on vacation: be be careful, especially going to Mexico. It is real dangerous in Mexico. Um, all that's been happening in Mexico. Um, it's dangerous with the Shaquille Robinson story, with this story, with other stories that took place. Please be careful on these Mexican vacations. It could be dangerous. You don't know who, you know what I'm saying, is around. You don't know who is following you or spying on you or doing that. You gotta be careful. Be careful on these Mexican vacations. It is dangerous. Your life matters. People lives matters. Be careful. Thank you. Keep the victims in thoughts and prayers. Condolences to the families. Sad. This next story happened not that long ago, and this next story, parents needs to come to the front line. Parents, because this is very important. Very important. I'm on deadline. Let's talk about it. Of course, this is from TikTok. I think it's like a TikTok video that was on TikTok. So let's talk about it. Chicago teen takeover floods downtown area. Two shot and several is beaten by mob. A social media fueled teen takeover in the Millennium Park area of Chicago Saturday night spun out of control, resulting in two people shot. 15 was arrested. I love you, baby. She got juices in here. You can't. Oh, you cold. Oh, your face is cold. Love you. 15 was arrested. Property damage. Did y'all see my work badge here by any chance? No. Charles, you? I thought I did. Where? Oh, my work badge here. I thought I did too. Freaking freezing today. You see it up there now? Well, if you see it, just chat it. Because I could have sworn it's here. Yeah, I could have sworn it's here. You later, baby. Oh, she got it over there. Okay, she got water in here? No, I forgot to get it. Yeah. Charles, what you got on? You got anything on? Uh-huh. You come grab a couple water or something? I'm gonna go to work. You be right there if you get your act work back. Perseverance, this ain't some bullshit right now. I'm back. Sorry. Back. To make it run for a second. I'm back. Now, as I was saying, we're talking about the Chicago surge. It was called Chicago Teen Takeover. Floods downtown area, 2 shot and 7 beaten by mob. Let's talk about it. A social media fueled teen takeover in the Millennium Park area of Chicago Saturday night spun out of control, resulting in 2 people shot, 15 arrested, property damage, and police unnumbered in attempts to shut down the disturbance. The incident mirrored a similar scene last year in Chicago. On Saturday, crowds is estimated by various sources in the hundreds up to thousands descended on the Millennium Park, which bars those under 21 after a certain hour. Instead, the teens smashed cars and jumped up and down on trapped vehicles, with police having to escort tourists back to the hotels in the area. Large groups began gathering earlier in the evening, responding to social media prompts of a takeover. They quickly blocked traffic and mayhem ensued. Chicago police said 2 teens, 16 and 17 years old, were wounded by a gunman in the crowd. One woman told Fox 32 her husband was attacked and beaten after a group of teens jumped up and down on the couple's windshield. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. Hundreds of police officers, assisted by SWAT teams, attempted to restore order as gunfire was reported multiple times. Last night, CPD monitored activity happening across the city, and officers were in place to quickly respond to active incidents and large gatherings. Police said in a statement, "We will continue to have sufficient resources in place as we work to strengthen safety in every area, in every neighborhood." Okay, number one, I saw the video on my phone. I believe I saw it. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I want to say this. Number one, why are we jumping up and down on people's vehicle? Number one, causing damage, and then number two, why are we beating up the elderly? And this is why it's important for parents. It's important to have a two-parent household. It really is. And it's important to raise your children with strict boundaries. The fact is that you had teens and young children down there acting crazy, damaging people's property, assaulting people, killing people, and it's crazy. Something has to be done with Chicago. And if this is something that Chicago people do on certain days, on Saturday, well, that needs to come to a stop. And at the end of the day, y'all damaging people's property. So my thing is, if you're not gonna pay to get that fixed, then you probably shouldn't damage it. If you don't have the money to get it fixed, number one. Number two, traffic was blocked. The police had to shut the street down, and businesses could have been damaged. We're talking about teens who obviously are not home trained. And you could bet your bottom dollar that these parents allow their children just do what they want to do. You can't do that to these children because your children will never learn. As long as you allow your children to do what they want to do, they will never learn. So it's your job to get on your children and steer them in the right direction. Because what I saw was a crime. Every one of those people down there could have and should have been arrested. It was a crime. Jumping on cars, vandalizing vehicles, acting a fool. It's a crime. So don't be surprised if the popos come knocking out your door and your child is leaving in handcuffs. Because what they're going to do is they're going to start arresting these people. Believe it or not. They're talking with the DA right now. They're going to talk to the DA. The DA is going to pursue charges. They're going to start knocking on doors and arresting these people. So think about this stuff. And it could be funny when a SWAT team comes knocking at your door and you leaving them in handcuffs. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And these people know better, but they're acting a fool in public to get a reaction. Let's move on. We have two more stories. We have six stories. Black teen is shot in Kansas City, Missouri, after going to the wrong house. Let's talk about it. This is him. You can see. So let's talk about it. 28 minutes ago. I'm on CNN. A teenager was shot by a homeowner after going to the wrong house to pick up siblings, Kansas City police say. Protesters took the streets after a homeowner shot and wounded teenager Ralph Yeri, who had mistakenly gone to the wrong home to pick up his siblings in Kansas City, Missouri, police said Sunday. Yuri, who's 16, was shot twice and struck in the head and arm, the family attorney said in a statement. Protesters marched as they chanted "Justice for Ralph" and "Black Lives Matter" and carried signs reading "Ringing a doorbell is not a crime" and the shooter should do the time. Footage from CNN affiliate KNBC shows officers responded to reports of a shooting on the evening of April the 13th and arrived to find a teenager who had been shot by a homeowner outside a residence, according to Kansas City police. The teen was taken to a hospital where he was in stable condition Sunday, police said. Police Police learned the teenager's parents had asked him to pick up his siblings at an address on the 115th Terrace, but he accidentally went to a home on 115th Street where he was shot, according to police. Civil rights attorney S. Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump had been retained by Yale and his family. Despite the severity of his injuries and the seriousness of his condition, Ralph is alive and recovering, the attorney said in the statement. The homeowner, who has not been identified, was taken into custody and placed on a 24-hour hold, then released, pending further investigation due to the need to obtain a formal statement from the victim and to gather additional forensic evidence, Kansas City Police Sheriff Stacey Graves said in a news conference Sunday. Under Missouri state law, a person can be held up for 24 hours for investigation of a felony, at which time they are required to be charged or released. Graves said at the news conference, attorneys for the wounded youth's family said it issued in a statement demanding swift action from Clay County prosecutors and law enforcement to identify, arrest, and prosecute to the full extent of the law the man responsible for this horrendous and unjustifiable shooting. Asked whether the shooting may have been racially motivated, the police chief said the information that we have now it does not say that that is racially motivated. That's still an active investigation, but as chief of police, I do recognize the racial components of this case. Graves sought to show the Kansas City community Sunday the police department is committed to bringing justice to this case. We recognize the frustration to this cause and the entire criminal justice process. The women and men of the Kansas City Police Department are working as expeditiously and as thoroughly as we can to ensure the criminal justice process continues to advance as quickly as all involved in our community deserve. Grave said. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas said there will be a thorough investigation and review by the prosecutor's office. As a parent, I certainly feel for the mother of the victim and others in the family. My heart goes out to them, the mayor added. A GoFundMe started by Faith Spoonmore, who identified herself as Yuri's aunt, to help the family raise money for medical expenses, had garnished more than $529,000 in donations by Sunday night. Girl had been looking forward to graduating from high school and visiting West Africa before starting college, where he hopes to major in chemical engineering, his aunt wrote in the fundraiser. The teen is a section leader in a marching band and could often be found with a musical instrument in hand. Spoonmore wrote most recently Earl earned Missouri All-State Band honorable mention for playing the bass clarinet, according to a North Kansas City Schools newsletter in February. Life looks a lot different right now. Even though he is doing well physically, he has a long road ahead mentally and emotionally. The trauma that he has to endure and survive is unimaginable. The GoFundMe post reads, speaking of a person went to the wrong door, a case similar to this happened somewhere else where a person was also shot. Let me say this. Number one, I don't understand why people are so quick to pull out a gun and shoot at an unarmed black child like it's going to fix the problem. The child made a mistake. He went to go pick up his siblings at an address that was given to him that was a mistake. So why would you then shoot this child multiple times to try to kill the child? Because apparently that's what the homeowner was trying to do. Secondly, I don't think this home owner should have been released from jail on a 24-hour hold. He should have been prosecuted then and there. Evidence showed that he shot this person. He shot this child. What much evidence do you really need? So what I'm going to assume is that the shooter is white, a white man. Because if this was a black man, he would not have been released from jail on a 24-hour hold. He would have been charged then and there. So, with that being said, is that something needs to be done with criminals who shoots and wounded unarmed teens and then be released from jail. If it was up to me, he'll be still behind bars, awaiting trial, because there's no way there's not enough evidence to prosecute. You see the child been shot, the person admitted what he did. So by admitting what he did, that's evidence to book him. He did the shooting. You have the evidence. So why take time to release him back into society? Just like that story from Kansas City where the old white woman shot Emmett Till back, and I believe it was like 1980 something, and killed Emmett Till. And she's still alive. I think they said she's in her 90s. She's still in Kansas. There was people so outraged about that story that they went to her house and demanded that she'd been arrested. And see, white people in general, whether you're a white man or woman, don't get prosecuted right away. Now, if the case was different, and a black person was a shooter, they'd have been arrested then and there. So I think that something should be done about this. And I think that, you know, justice for Euro, justice for the 16-year-old who did not deserve to have been shot and who did not deserve to be in a hospital. And a person did not cared enough about the safety of this child. Because again, you shot a child who was 16. You shot a kid. And for what? We all make accidents. Why would you then take a gun out and use deadly force? Like that was going to solve the issue. Again, that's why I think assault rifles and guns, period, needs to be off the streets. Because we're giving guns to uneducated homeowners. We seriously are. Well wishes to the victim's family. We hope you make a full recovery and the family gets the justice that they deserve. And this child get the justice he deserves. That homeowner needs to be incarcerated. Bottom line. Our next story is very important. I want our parents again to sit in front of me because you would think twice about letting your young children stand alone at a bus stop, school bus stop. Let's talk about it. The story is coming out of Oklahoma, by the way. The last story. I'm on News 9, and again, Oklahoma's taking the air. More, Moore, more public schools. Public schools moves a bus stop, a school bus stop, from a sex offender's house after parent speaks up. Now, I don't think it should have been up to. I don't. The, my thing is the city and the state should have moved the bus stop. The fact that the public school had to do it is a shame, and this is why we're failing the community. It should have been up to the people. It should have been up to the county, the state, and the city to move that bus stop. It shouldn't have been up to the school. The school should have made the city, state, or the county move that bus stop. So again, we're filling our community. More Oklahomans are taking air. Sex offenders cannot live near schools in Oklahoma, but there's a loophole in Oklahoma state law. One more public schools parent discovered something many parents fail to check, and that's true. It's an oversight that really needs attention, said Heather Johnson, whose kids attend more public schools. Johnson's kids used to get on the school bus about a block from her house on Independence Avenue in Oklahoma City. However, the bus stop was in the front yard of a registered sex offender. Johnson said she let more public schools know about them 2 years ago. That was a scary thing, Johnson said. Oklahoma keeps track of its more than 7,000 registered sex offenders online. Even at the registered sex offender's home, the schools, don't have to move it, Johnson said. Johnson is right. More public school isn't wrong by the law, I was outstanding, Johnson said. Johnson spoke with House Rep Mickey Dawsons. Dawsons is a former teacher and a parent. Dawson said he would work with Johnson on a potential bill to change this law. I completely agree, Dawson said. As a father of two young children, I wouldn't have want them being at a bus stop near a sexual offender's home either. Johnson created a petition line in the old school way on paper to gather signatures. I've got 200 plus signatures in not even a week, Johnson said. As of last Friday, they did change the bus stop. A Moore Public School transportation spokesperson told News 9. The Transportation Office of Moore Public Schools will always hear a parent or guardian's concern about the safety of the student. The MPS transportation team has always consulted with a parent or guardian who is bringing forth a question of safety and concerning a particular bus stop and will work to resolve the issue, keeping the safety of our students at the forefront of the solution. In this situation, a solution was made in a collaboration with a parent who raised a valid concern over the student's bus stop. We appreciate our MPS families and communities assisting us in prioritizing our student safety and security. The sex offender who lives near Johnson has to live somewhere else, but the bus stop can live elsewhere. I do not want to bring children to the doorstep, Johnson said. Johnson stood up and asked the question: would you rather them walk a little bit longer, or would you rather some kids be waiting in a registered sex offender's yard? Johnson said. Okay, number one, my thing is this: if the county or the state or the city knew that there was a registered sex offender at that particular bus stop right there, two things should happen immediately. One, that sex offender should have been asked to leave that area ASAP. Two, that bus stop should have been removed from that property ASAP. Again, we are failing our children because we put our children in danger by putting a bus stop directly across from a registered sex offender's house. And again, parents, you got to be careful when you let your children go to the bus stop alone. A lot of parents do it. We live in the times where there are thousands of registered sex offenders in one state or city. And so you cannot just allow your children to be standing alone at a bus stop. Let's think about that. Let's think before we do. Because our actions ultimately have consequences. And it's dangerous, and we're putting children in dangerous situations. So all I'm saying is that Oklahoma failed that community by not removing that bus stop soon as possible, or evicting that offender. Bottom line. Bottom line. Leave me some comments down below. Thumbs this video up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that cash app at money sign capital CPA 106. I will see you on Wednesday. Have a great day. Happy April 17th. And it's been a pleasure giving you these stories, sad stories. Keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. Keep our state, city, counties in your thoughts and prayers. We need to work at legislation. I think we could do better as United States Americans. We can do it. We need to fight, fight, fight. And as long as we fight, we'll be all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.